Welcome back to the Super Not Funny Show reviews. And today I'm reviewing the Afterparty Season 2, Episode 4. It's entitled Hannah. It's coming to you from Apple TV Plus. So, what did I think about it, and should you be watching? And before we get into the review, get down there, hit like on this video. The episode Hannah, it's the tweeest of twee. It plays like a Wes Anderson film, or at least an homage to a Wes Anderson film, and that's the entirety. And it includes ridiculous things like bad archery, dolly shots for no good reason going between rooms, very odd main character, and everyone talking very precisely in the silliest ways. Oh, and also we get some bed scenes that very much look like they very much look like they could be on a Double Mint commercial, I suppose. But also very, very bright colors, in stark contrast to the previous episode. And so Hannah is again Edgar's adopted sister, and we sort of figure out, we get, maybe does she have a motive to kill him, or maybe she, is being misunderstood. What is it in her own words? But of course, Zoe, she is all about trying to keep her sister out of jail. So she comes in hard and very hot and gets kicked out pretty unceremoniously. There's this whole season so far, Zoe coming on strong and then basically being useless in the investigation seems to be the theme. And it also puts Anik in like the situation of he really, really wants to solve this case, and he knows Danner is actually a good detective, so he wants to work with her on solving this case, but also he wants to support his his girlfriend, who is clearly not in a good headspace or position to actually be of use to this particular investigation. But that's not fair to her. She did sort of figure out some stuff like that typewriter key, which led them to Hannah in the first place. But I mean, to be honest, they were going to talk to her anyway. So once she's out of the way, we start seeing this Wes Anderson homage. And I mean, to be quite honest, once you get past the first few scenes of it, the novelty wears off, and then you just realize, like, oh, wait a minute, a parody of a Wes Anderson movie is not terribly interesting. Like, it's cool that we're learning some things. Like, we find out that Grace and Hannah, because Edgar's always off, they spent time, then they end up kissing, and then they have like this torrid 1 month long affair. And it again looks like a Wes Anderson, so everything's bright and they're outside and they're doing, silly and weird things, and you find out that there's a lot in common between Grace and Hannah, because she likes the old typewriters and Grace likes old things. And Grace, maybe she's feeling disillusioned about the whole marriage thing because because Edgar's always off doing his thing and kind of leaving her on her own. And we saw a bit of that in the second episode when Grace was telling her story. But in this case, she wasn't. She left out the fact that she was having an affair with Edgar's sister. And, Hannah pretty much is just like, well, I don't really have a motive to kill him because, I wanted to stop. Yes, I did want to stop the thing, but once I realized that Grace really loved him and he really loved her, and that was that. I mean, they spent a good amount of this episode sort of getting around to that in a very twee sort of way, that the Wes Anderson style. It just, again, once you get past a few scenes, the novelty and the hilarity of it kind of wears off, and it's a joke told too many times, I suppose you could say. I will say that in this show, Tiffany Haddish, her Detective Danner, does seem to interrupt the flow of the stories in order to actually, bring it back around to the point of the whole endeavor, and tell some good, funny jokes or whatever. But that doesn't really save that part of it. Now, there are other parts of this episode, like when Zoe and Grace sort of, loud whisper about the whole affair thing and then having to go outside. There's a fun bit with Ken Jeong, and Sebastian, kind of getting his character, the dad character, to do a negotiation with someone in Korean, but it was just like there was no negotiation required. So he really just kind of talked himself up in the whole situation. That was a fun little bit. And the whole bit about Sebastian, seemingly about to get fired from working for Edgar, or had gotten fired. What are these shady business deals that he may or may not be doing to kind of help himself land, lightly. I mean, all that's very interesting. But since the meat of the episode was the Hannah story, and since it sort of, lost its, it lost its luster in some bits, even then when we recontextualize certain things that are happening, like when she tried to chat up and make Grace jealous, tried to chat up her ex-boyfriend. I mean, yeah, cool, but it wasn't as compelling, and that's unfortunate, because this show is supposed to be funny, and it is in its way, but in this way, just doing that whole, Wes Anderson dry humor and weirdness and everything doesn't play as well as you would think it would, and not because Wes Anderson stuff doesn't play as well, but because I think that trying to play at being Wes Anderson is not a joke that sustains itself. And so at the end of the day, this is the first. I don't want to. I guess I say I wasn't a fan of this episode. I wish it had been better, and all of the information that it gave to kind of push the story forward, that's the good stuff. But like stylistically, I wish it had done something else. The writing could have been a bit stronger too. So anyway, those are my thoughts on this episode of The After Party. What did you guys think about it? What did you think about what I had to say? Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And while you're down there, do me a favor, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow the channel and helps more people to see these videos. All right, thanks for joining me. Come back next week. We're going to be talking about episode 5 of The After Party Season 2. It's entitled Sebastian, so come back for that. Till then, I've been Mo, your comedy extraordinaire on all things pop culture, and I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.